Good evening. My name is Diane Wilson, City College, class of 1977. It's my pleasure to introduce my friend, colleague, and fellow alum, Stephanie Berry. She will be sharing a very special poem with you this evening entitled Harlem, A Letter Home, written by another graduate of City College whose work as a student organizer, poet, writer, and editor of the paper, a newspaper that gave voice to the African American students on campus, and whose work has contributed to the long and rich legacy of our college, Sekou Sundiata. From 1974 to 1977, Stephanie and I became a part of the editorial board for the paper. At a point when the future of the only black campus newspaper was tenuous, some of the founding and core staffers, Louis Rivera, Ted Fleming, Robert Knight, and Sekou, passed the torch to two black women. They sat with us, guided us step by step on how to publish the paper. From writing articles, getting bids from printers, organizing staff, assigning stories, always and most importantly, maintaining an authentic editorial, political, and community perspective. Sekou will always be remembered for his commitment to our college and his love for the Harlem community, passing on a revolutionary model of dedicated service and commitment. There were few other such outspoken advocates for change. Sekou, who made an untimely transition in 2007, became one of our greatest poets, author, and performance artists of the past two generations after his graduation from our historic institution. Nominated for a Grammy Award, he set a new mark for fusing music and politics to text. His work was referred to as rhythm and news. Our community celebration of the Harlem Renaissance's centennial this year has been overshadowed by a pandemic and a civil rights uprising espousing Black Lives Matter. It's fitting that we honor and remember Sekou at this period of time. If he could bear witness now, we can only wonder how he would help us seize the moment, rise to the occasion, leading us through these tumultuous times, Harlem's second Renaissance, through his prose and poetry. I believe it was Maya Angelou, another written and spoken word master, who stated, "History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again." Each edition of the paper included a banner with a quote written by Langston Hughes, the voice of the Harlem Renaissance as he will always be remembered. It read, "So we stand here on the edge of hell in Harlem and look out on the world and wonder what we're going to do in the face of what we remember." Langston's and Maya's writings inspired people to take action. We will now hear Sekou's passionate words, another icon of the Black Power movement that does not die throughout time. A longtime friend of Stephanie and her family, she will now share one of her favorite pieces written by Sekou, Harlem, A Letter Home.
It hurts me to my heart to see you like this. Underworld, underweight, impossible to be with, impossible to leave. I must approach you the way I approach music sometimes, late at night and by myself, when people who can't understand are long gone, like the famous who want your infamy without your tragedy, like the rich who want your treasure without your pain. Too hard to catch up and too hard to follow. I keep looking for you anyway. Over by Harlem River Drive, where years ago you went underground, leaving 2 dead policemen in your trail. Then backstage at the old Apollo Theater, where we used to be waiting, pulling on the stars, begging them to kiss us like they sing. I walk around with this photograph of you at the African American Day Parade, looking like a 33rd degree Mason, a Eastern Star, an old African, a Parliament Funkadelic, a grand and flowing feather in a Marcus Garvey hat. But in your ashy, sunken face, I see a fallen of flesh from bone. I see your red hands, your blue eyes, protruding ribs, where once I entered and lived. You were my living room, my address, and my home. What remains the same is how little, how much you have changed. You don't belong to Malcolm or Langston anymore. No point telling me whether you left them or they left you, since the whole thing was out of your hands, since you have no more control over death than you do of life. You make it and you shape it every day. Maybe that's why you never sleep. Maybe that's why the rings around your eyes are thin lines between love and hate that you can enter and leave at any point. The definition of a circle, which brings you right back to where Bird plays and Billy sings to Malcolm and Langston's words. The songs, the speeches, the poems, the songs, the speeches, the poems, more alive now than then. But you're coming back, you're coming back. It's your power and your redemption. Oh, Harlem, oh, Harlem, oh, Harlem. I have searched every place, every body, every name I have ever been for you. If not your beauty, then your ugliness. If not your rhythm, then your story. Oh, Harlem. Oh, Harlem. Oh, Harlem. Oh, Harlem.